Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. A couple of weeks ago, a few of us YouTubers were invited to go to Headstock Distribution in the UK. Headstock Distribution basically are the company that deal with Ibanez, DiMarzio, Laney and a bunch of other brands. And what we were doing was there basically just trying out all the new gear from Ibanez and DiMarzio and Laney. Now, while I was there, I thought I'd have a quick chat to Ian Aguado Bush. Ian deals with the artist relations for Headstock Distribution. So if you're an artist and you're looking to be a brand ambassador or to have an endorsement with some of these products, Ian would be the guy to speak to. So what I thought I'd do while I was there to ask him how you would go about it if you were such a musician. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoy the video, and here it is. Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. Today I'm at Headstock Distribution having a look at all of their new releases. So this is all Ibanez and Laney, etc. And we're having a bit of a fantastic day. And what I thought I'd do is have a chat with Ian, because Ian deals with artist relations.
Yep, I'm Director of Artist Relations at Headstock Group, and that covers like really all our brands.
Yep.
Our own brands and distributed brands. So Laney, Ibanez, Tama, Zildjian, Aquarian, DiMarzio, whoever we distribute, that's generally what I do. I do the artist relations behind it, yeah.
So if someone wants to be an artist, because it's probably changed a lot since...
It has, massively.
Has it?
Massively, yeah. I mean, you know, back in the day, it was like, who's playing the biggest stages, who's in front of the biggest audiences. Obviously with social media now, that's almost been turned on its head. It's not quite so much about the stages you're playing now. Yeah. Because you've got to think that, you know, say you're doing, I mean, obviously it's different for people like Metallica and, you know, all these sorts of, you know, Muse, all that sort of thing. Yeah. But, you know, because social media is such a massive thing now, it's not just about the stage you're playing. And bear in mind that you might do, let's take Shepherd's Bush Empire, what's that, 3,000-4,000 people? Yeah. What percentage of that is musicians? Do you know what I mean? You've got to think about the audience that's there.
So it's about reach.
It's about reach. Exactly that. Exactly about that.
Tell us first of all, if someone wants to be an artist that is involved with Headstock, or really any brand, how do they, how do they approach you? What do they ask for?
Well, the biggest thing is don't do it at a music show. Don't do it at a trade show. The amount of people, it's funny, you know, things like UK Drum Show. Yeah. When I do that show, the amount of people that think that that's the time to come and talk to me about artist relations and being an artist, that sort of thing, that's not the time. Right. Because it's so busy. I mean, you've done the shows, you've been to NAMM Show. Yeah. Those places, although yes, you know, that's your moment to get that person. Yeah. It's not always the best place to do it. So the thing to do is to kind of come up to us and say, you know, I'd like to be an artist of yours, you know, can I give you a card? And then leave. Yeah. Because it's not the place where you can sit there or stand there and have a half an hour to an hour conversation. Yeah, you just have to think about kind of what's the best way to go about it. Now, usually, especially with people like Ibanez, Tama, you know, Laney, there is a section on the website to try and become an artist. So fill that out as your first port of call, because usually it asks for social following, you know, what you're doing, what gigs you've got coming up. All that information is there to be provided. So that would be the first port of call, because then that gets filtered down. That will go to the head office in either Japan or America, the artist relations guys there, and then that will be filtered down to me. Yeah. But like I said before, it has been flipped from the stages you're playing to the following you've got. Wow. And that's just the way it is. You know, if you're not, you know, 10,000, 20,000 followers and things like that, you're probably not going to get to be an artist. You can be associated with the brand, be an ambassador, things like that, and, you know, we'll support you with like the logos, the appropriate logos to use, and give you a bit of brand guidance. Yeah. But really, you need to be hitting, I mean, even now it's like 100,000 followers. You know, you need to be in those numbers. And, you know, with subs on YouTube, that's got to be a big thing as well. We take all that into account, as well as what stages you're playing and what you're doing. Right. So it's not just one or the other. It has to be sort of a collaboration of both. It does have to be a collaboration. Yeah, of course. So you're looking for the credibility of someone with a following, but is also going out there and doing the gigs. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's interesting. So that's the sort of criteria. Now,
how should, and if someone I wanted to ask you for, I mean, it's not really endorsement, is it? It's to be like it's to be associated with the brand.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and that's what people want generally more often than not.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's not so much about, you know, being an artist, about being associated with the brand.
Yeah.
And being an artist is becoming more and more difficult. And a lot of consumers completely misread what being an artist is. Being an artist isn't just about free gear anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be being endorsed or being an artist, being sponsored by a company was you get free gear. No, I've said this time and time again on podcasts and things like that. People need to get that out of their heads.
Right.
Because it's not just a case of, you know, you have 100,000 followers, you say to somebody, I've got 100,000 followers, next day a guitar arrives on your doorstep for free.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the way it is, and people shouldn't expect that anymore.
No.
What I want to see as an artist relations guy is passion for the brand.
Yep.
And willingness to invest.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, we at the end of the day, we've got to sell gear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we need that support.
Yeah.
And, you know, people shouldn't think that it's just about free gear. People should be happy. If they want to be associated with a brand, they should be happy to invest in that brand and show that they want to be associated with that brand through investment. Let me give you a story.
Yeah, go on.
Give you an
well, this is one of the questions that I was going to ask is what is the most stupid?
Okay, I'll tell you. I had an email once.
Yeah.
It was for a drum artist, a drummer, and he emailed me. It was just so generic. It was unbelievable. It was like, hello, not even my name. Do you know what I mean? So immediately I'm like, oh God. Said, hello. I really love your brand, would love to be associated. How do I go about being an artist? But he had forgotten to blind CC, and he had copied in Natal, Yamaha, Pearl, you know, all these other brands. Oh, and it was just such a schoolboy error because immediately from the get-go, I knew that he was just fishing for free gear.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, that's why I kind of changed my mentality of, okay, well, I'm happy if somebody's been playing Tama since day dot, they've been, you know, purchasing all that time.
Yeah.
I don't have to purchase it again for me. I just want to see that passion.
Yeah.
So it might be someone like Drew Michael, for instance, who plays for Sam Fender. He's played Tama all his life.
Yeah.
And then I met him at a festival in 2015, Boardmasters, and I took a punt on him and I said, look, I'll give you a kit. I'll give you a kit.
That was a good punt.
Yeah. And look at him now.
Yeah.
So sometimes that happens. So sometimes, if you can show that you're passionate about a brand, you've been playing the brand all your life, you've already invested in the brand, sometimes I'll take a punt and say, okay, you know, here you go, I'll support you with this kit.
Yeah.
And we'll assess it in a year's time and see what's happening.
So if he had approached you through the website, it's funny, isn't it? It's that chance meeting. It's sometimes better. So let's give everyone the criteria.
Yep.
Because you don't want to be bothered by everyone from who's watching this video.
Don't get me wrong, I've got enough space in my inbox for you all.
Absolutely, but you don't want sort of Jim's son's uncle phoning you up.
Yeah, he plays 3 gigs down the Lamb Flag. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what is the criteria that before anyone approaches, not just you, but really any brand?
Yeah.
And what's the best way that they can approach a brand? What sort of wording can they?
Well, to be fair,
what homework can they do?
First of all, it would be a bit of self-reflection.
Right.
You know, I would encourage them to think, am I worthy of this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, am I doing the, you know, O2s, the main rooms at the O2s? Am I doing your Shepherd's Bush Empires? You know, am I doing those sorts of gigs? You know, Alexandra Palace.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. If you're doing that sort of stuff and you've got a decent following, get in touch.
Right.
Get in touch.
They are.
If you're not, then get in touch. So we, you know, because sometimes I even monitor people.
Yeah.
I'll watch them grow, and you know, I'll stay in touch, and I might chuck them a bit of hardware here and there just to, you know, make them feel special, and I'll watch them throughout their journey, if you like. Mm-hmm. And if they suddenly explode, I'm on it.
Awesome. And what about more from like a social media point of view? You know, what sort of level of people got to be? What sort of numbers, subs or?
Well, again, this is something that's crazy. I mean, there's a guy out there, Ellis Tapario. he looks like a Viking, Spanish guy.
Oh, the drummer.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, he's somebody that, you know, I at the minute I don't work with him. Mm-hmm. I would love to work with him.
But everyone does, don't they?
Because, you know, I've been friends with him actually for quite a while now. And it seemed like one minute he was 120,000 followers, next minute he's on 5 million or something. You know, I mean, I think he's got 5 million followers. So I've watched his journey. Now, sometimes I do that with a lot of people, but that's the extreme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, 10,000, 20,000 followers, good place to start. You know, just let me know and I'll maybe follow you and you know, watch what happens. And
see, that's interesting. You're saying followers. So is Instagram more important to a brand than YouTube?
Not necessarily more important. I think it's just I've generally found, and you as a YouTuber will please feel free to correct me.
Yeah.
But I generally find with independent musicians, not YouTubers like who have a show kind of thing.
Yeah.
I usually find with independent musicians that the Instagram following seems to grow maybe before the YouTube following.
Oh, interesting.
Just from people that I look at. I mean, I might be completely wrong. So if I'm wrong, feel free to email Paul and tell him I'm wrong. But you know, I generally find that.
Right.
So yeah, Instagram is, because it's a lot easier to find people as well. You know,
Is it?
The algorithm. I mean, you know, I'm a drummer, guitarist, that kind of guy. My explore page is just all drummers and guitarists.
Yeah.
So I kind of get pushed towards that sort of thing. Whereas YouTube, as far as I know, doesn't really have that kind of. You have an explore page, of course.
Yeah.
But even the stuff that I look at, it still throws up people like yourself who have like a show, and like, it doesn't really throw up independent musicians to me.
Yeah.
So I generally go on Instagram to find talent.
I need to do Instagram more.
Well,
yeah, because I don't really do Instagram. I just do YouTube. So that's really interesting. So how can if someone is out there and they're a musician and they're at the sort of level that you know where it could be beneficial for you guys to be working together, how can they get hold of you?
Okay, so like I said, through the websites generally.
Yep.
And that'll get filtered down to me, or you know, in my Instagram or the brand Instagram. That's always a good place to start.
Great.
Generally, the brand Instagram, I would say.
So I'll leave all the details in the links below. So if you've got that sort of level of followers, or you've got that sort of following, or if you're that sort of musician, I'll leave all the details for Headstock in the notes below. So that's for Laney, that's for Ibanez, that's for Tama,
Zildjian, Demarcio, Aquarian.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, you can go through you can contact us through the Headstock website as well.
Perfect.
Links down below. It's like I've done this before.
Oh, mate, you're doing a sterling job. So, and anyway, well, thanks for inviting us along to the event
today.
Pleasure.
Thanks for coming.
It's been absolutely awesome.
Good,
and,
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's been great to see all the new Ibanez products and Laney products.
Coming to you soon.
Yeah.